It means there is a dimension of thanking God that must go beyond what he has done. Let me connect this story, because Jesus in the book of Mark speaks to his disciples and he tells them, let's cross over on the other side. What did Jesus say? Come on, talk to me. What did Jesus say? Let's cross over on the other side. What did Jesus say? Let us cross over. In other words, they were on one side. Just like this nation has been in a side sometimes that has been painful, a side that people have been crying, but I hear the Lord say, let us cross over on the other side. I believe with all my heart, by the time we are headed to 5 years, my goodness, there is someone who will be rejoicing, because I know by faith, not only by faith, even by sight, that things are happening that will cause this nation to celebrate. Your Excellency, I went to the kinyozi on Friday, and a young girl that was in the kinyozi said to me, if you meet the president, or if you ever get a chance to talk to the president, tell him thank you. I said, why? He said, for the first time, I've been able to buy gas, the big mutungi, less than 2,000 shillings. Jesus said, let's cross over on the other side. There is a side we are headed. And I want you to go with me, because there's something I want to bring. The Bible says they got into the ship and they sailed. But as they began to sail, the Bible says a storm rose from nowhere. And I don't know about you, but there are times that storms rise from nowhere. We had a peaceful election, a wonderful time. And as we were sailing on the other side, a storm from nowhere decides just to rise. What do you do when a storm rises from nowhere? What do you do when Jesus has said, let's go on the other side, and just from nowhere a storm begins to rise? And the Bible says, because when Jesus said, let's cross over, he went ahead and slept. He went to the stern. The stern is the lowest point of the ship. He went and slept. And the Bible says when the storm began to hit, the disciples, most of them used to be fishermen. They tried to do everything they can do. And I'm sure I have seen the governors do what they're supposed to do. I have seen our minister for security do what they are supposed to do. And everybody is working. We have seen everyone working because there is a storm somewhere. And the Bible says the disciples came to Jesus and they asked Jesus a question. They asked Jesus, don't you care? Don't you care? Believe me, there is a moment that comes in life where you think that God does not care. Every one of us, I don't know about you, but each and every one of us has a moment where you wonder, where is God? Where is he? You look at a nation, you ask, where is God? As a church, you ask, we prayed, where is God? What is happening? Things are happening, bad things are happening. It looks like there is a storm. And they went to Jesus and asked Jesus, how can you be sleeping at this time? And I don't know the people I came to speak to. And as I finish, I want to say this to you. You could be there. From the docket you have been given, from the office you're working from the family that you are at, from the village and the business you're doing, there comes a time where you feel like Jesus is asleep. So what do? On this other side you thanked him, but now you're in the middle of a storm. How can he be asleep when there is a storm? And the Bible says they woke him up. Come on, Jesus, wake up. You can't cannot be sleeping at such a time as this. I was careful to look at our minister of security when we were worshiping and praying. And I know why he should be deep in prayer. I know it. Because he could be looking sometimes and wondering, how can God be asleep? When things are happening in Lamu, happening on this side. I mean, he has been all over. We have seen that. How can the Lord be asleep at this time? But I'll tell you why he is asleep. Because before he slept, he said, we are going on the other side. I said, before he slept, he never said, let's go die in the storm. He already knew, I'm gonna give you the power to get on the other side. And I come to tell Kenya, I come to tell the presidency, before the boat began to go, I heard the Lord say, go and save the nation, go and revive the economy, go and get the victory. He said, let's go over. He never said, you know what God does, the way I have seen with God is that he doesn't give you the details of the journey.